Hey everybody, this is Derek over here at LuckyVitamin, coming to you from the beautiful snow-laden Northeast. We have dug ourselves out from Winter Storm Jonas, and we are ready to bring you another fantastic webinar. It's great to have so many people joining us today for the Abundant Wellness webinar presented by Rainbow Light. Thank you all very much for joining us. Today we're also joined by Terry Ann Cooper as well as Marcy Clow. Terry Ann has had nearly 20 years experience in the natural products industry, primarily in the areas of training and education management. She was with Rainbow Light way back in the early years from 87 to 96, and then was manager of education for Spectrum Organics from 96 to 2002. Her personal passion for education and a healthy walk-the-talk lifestyle make her an enthusiastic, engaging, and energetic presenter. So you're in for a treat. Marcy has been part of Rainbow Light's research, formulation, and quality team for over 15 years. Marcy has a master's degree in clinical nutrition and a BS in food service administration. Before I turn things over to the Rainbow Light team, just a quick reminder. This webinar is being recorded and will be emailed to you after its conclusion. If you have any questions during today's webinar, please enter them into the question box on your screen. At the end of the webinar, we will try to answer as many as possible. The promotion code will be given at the end of the presentation and will be available for 72 hours. Again, thank you all for attending, and at this time I'm going to turn the session over to Terry Ann.
Well, thank you so much for that enthusiastic welcome and introduction. We are so happy to be here with the wonderful masses through Lucky Vitamins. I'm Terry Ann Cooper, and I'll be taking the helm here at today's discussion on abundant wellness with Rainbow Light Nutritional Systems. So we're going to go ahead and just dive right in, and I will start by sharing with you Rainbow Light has been a leader in the natural channel for 35 years now, and it all really started from our mission, and that was to be the performance leader in building a stronger state of health for our customers, which is you, many audience members, our natural trade partners like Lucky here on the supporting and hosting this call, as well as our global community and the planet. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we do that. If I could just get a check, are my slides advancing okay? You should all be able to see that beautiful magnified spirulina right now. Can we just do a check on the visuals?
Looking great, Terry Ann. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for that. All right, so we talked about our mission being building that stronger state of health. And the main component of that, and the main component in the way that we do that in the Rainbow Light multivitamins, is to use the nutrient-dense superfood spirulina. If you can see it right there in its beautiful spiral. Spirulina is a single cell algae, and it's really unique in the plant kingdom because it has a very soft cell wall, and therefore is very easy to break down and digest and absorb all of the nutrients. And it grows in that beautiful spiral, as you can see it there in the magnified image. At Rainbow Light, we use certified organic, non-GMO spirulina in our multivitamins. So a little bit of history there. Back in, nearly 35 years ago, in the early days at Rainbow Light, we tested spirulina for its nutritional content. And we viewed spirulina under a sort of a fancy microscope called a light spectrophotometer. Now, when you look at something under a light spectrophotometer, you see a different color refracted for every nutritional compound that's found present in, well, whatever you're looking at under this light spectrophotometer. In the case of spirulina, we discovered it refracted the color for proteins, another for amino acids, and different colors for all the B vitamins, and yet another color for metabolic pigments like chlorophyll. In fact, all the colors of the rainbow were present in spirulina. So inspired by the power of nature And viewed literally through the lens of science, our brand name, Rainbow Light Nutritional Systems, was born. So that gives you a little history there on us here. So our expert multidisciplinary formulating team, of which Marcy Clow is on the call with us as well, has a combined total of nearly 80 years of formulating expertise. Together, they bring 3 unique signature elements to each and every Rainbow Light formula. First, we use customized, science-based therapeutic potencies. What that means is we take each nutritional challenge at hand, whether it's a multivitamin or a stress formula or maybe something dealing with digestion or PMS, we customize looking to science to establish what are the nutrients and co-nutrients needed in this formula and in what doses are they needed and in what forms are they needed. So, for example, if you're formulating a teen multivitamin versus a calcium formula for maybe an 80-year-old osteoporotic female, are they both going to need calcium? Yes. Is it going to be the same amount or a source of calcium? Perhaps not so much. So our formulating team really knows what to do, looks to science to help us establish what the therapeutic potencies are needed in every formula that we create. The second component you're going to see in every Rainbow Light formula is where we started there on the last slide, superfoods. So things like organic spirulina or other herbal extracts are used to bring in that substantial amount of food, helping the body absorb, retain, and utilize the nutrients that are in a formula, also provide a nice energy level and make the formulas super easy to digest. Speaking of digestion, the third component you're going to find in Rainbow Light formulas is that we do address digestion in every formula. That is, we'll talk about this a little bit later in the presentation as well, but one of the top concerns that people have for why vitamins don't work for them is that they have a difficult time digesting them. So we address that in every one of our formulas. All 3 of these hallmarks here, that therapeutic potencies, the superfood concentrate, and the digestive support, really work together to create that difference that you can feel. And that's really what we're going for, because you really want to feel the difference when you take a supplement and notice the benefit, and you certainly will with the Rainbow Light products. So we're going to talk about some of our multivitamins in the line, but first I thought I would share. I really love staying on top of things going on in the industry, and I thought you might appreciate seeing a few of these interesting slides as well, sort of the current news as well as overview of who's out there in the supplement industry. So first, we'll start with some really exciting news, literally hot off the presses. This just released this month, January 2016, is that the Dietary Guidelines for the U.S. have stated food is not enough. And this has been sort of that ongoing battle. Many organizations have said, including the U.S. government, that we can get everything we need from our food. But now they're really recognizing that with all the challenges going on, the holes in the ozone, the genetically modified organisms out there, the stress that we're all living under, the fast-paced lifestyle. Many of us are, hitting the drive-through once or twice a week maybe. So we're skipping meals. We're not always getting everything that we need. So supplements have been deemed a good value and play a key role. So U.S. guidelines now recognize supplements as a very positive role in achieving optimal health status. So that's very, very good news for us indeed. This I thought was also very interesting. Who is taking supplements out there? Here we have some charts showing us precisely who is taking dietary supplements in the U.S. today. Women are represented by the green bars and men by the blue. So when you look at the top two groups there on the top half of this chart, the baby boomers and the elders, the women significantly outnumber the men. However, when you look at the younger demographic groups in the lower two charts on this slide here, you see that those in their mid-30s to mid-50s, that's the Gen X group, the Generation X group, as they are known, as well as those in their early 20s to mid-30s, the youngest group here, the Gen Y group, men are equaling in the supplement use of women. So this is really interesting. It's showing us a trend is happening here in consumers who really regard and value the use of supplements in their overall self-health care regimes. So what are we taking? That's another thing to look at. Nearly 70% of adults currently take some kind of dietary supplement or another, whether it's maybe omega-3s or a vitamin D or some calcium. And of those nearly 70% of adult Americans in this country taking supplements, nearly 80% take a multivitamin. So that's really the largest category there is multivitamins. So multivitamins are by far the most frequently used supplement, and that's really where our program today is going to focus, is on multivitamins. So are you taking just any multivitamin? Well, no. We see here that supplements formulated with whole foods, like our Spirulina that we spoke of earlier today, for example, have been growing at a faster rate than, and it's predicted to continue growing so, as you can see the projection into the future here. So what's been saying is we at Rainbow Light, what we've been doing for over 30 years now is still growing strong, formulating supplements with food in them. The last slide that I have here I thought was a kind of an interesting one to share. It shows us on the left there the top reason that people are taking supplements these days. Over half of us are taking a supplement for general overall health and wellness benefits. A little more than a third of us are taking to fill those nutritional gaps that we maybe for that skipped meal that we had, or the incomplete meal, maybe just grab an apple to go, and that doesn't quite constitute a lunch, but hey, today you're busy and that's what it's going to be. Heart health is another huge concern, as is anti-aging, immunity, energy, and reducing the risk of illness. So general overall health and well-being there. The reasons why we take supplements on the left. On the right-hand side here this is the reasons for poor compliance. Why do people stop their program or don't get started on the program? See if you identify with any of these here on the right-hand column. Up at the top there is many people lose compliance in taking supplements when they have to take more than one tablet a day. They might forget to take them or get busy or forget to bring them to the office with them. So that's pretty dominant in the use. What we researched there was also that compliance drops off heavily when you have to take more than one. There are needs for people to take more than one, and when someone is committed, it really can benefit them and be a great convenience. But the focus today on our program is really on those one-a-day formulas, because we see that that really has the strongest consumer use and compliance. The second, third, fourth, and to a degree fifth reasons people give for either stopping a program or not taking vitamins are all fairly the same. They really have to do with digestibility. And at Rainbow Light, we really handle that because we use plant-based digestive enzymes as well as probiotics in our multivitamins, and that really supports the overall digestive health for consumers as well. So let's get on now to take a look at some of the formulas that we have in the Rainbow Light line that meet your needs and the needs of every family member. We're going to start with Women's One. This is actually the #1 selling product we have in our entire line, Women's One here. What do we know? That over half, 56% actually, of all American women are taking a multivitamin currently in this country. Women's One here is a very comprehensive 1 tablet a day food-based multivitamin. So we've got the compliance issue, we've got the food-based issue. We're addressing your top concerns there, providing targeted nutrition for women with an emphasis on what are the top concerns for women and their health? Bone health, hormonal support, these are the top, immunity. These are the top concerns, as we mentioned earlier there. It provides a supportive balance of minerals as well as bioavailable forms, including in bioavailable forms, including 200 milligrams of calcium. Now, calcium, that's a lot for a 1-a-day formula. Calcium elementally takes up a lot of room in a multivitamin. So to get as much as 200 milligrams in 1 tablet of a multivitamin it's really significant towards your daily goal. We also had 800 international units of vitamin D, supporting a healthy bone and heart and colon health and blood pressure. And for hormonal balance, we had Dong Quai, which is used in traditional Chinese medicine for strengthening the blood and the female organs. It's used to support irregular menstruation, PMS, and enhanced overall vitality as well. And its general support for women of childbearing years. Folic acid is added as it works together with the vitamin B12, and it's very essential for building red blood cells and their formation and their building as well. It's most well known for its prevention of neural tube defects during pregnancy, but it's also very critical for heart health as well. In Women's One, we also use red clover. Red clover contains naturally occurring phytoestrogens that can support hormone balancing by binding to estrogen receptor sites, and really also thought to be an increased, there's been studies linking it to an increased risk of different types of cancers, including breast cancer. So really very beneficial overall for women's health. In addition, you can see here we, to support digestive health, we add, which is the purple dot down at the bottom there, we add plant-based enzymes which support the digestion and breaking down of your proteins, your fats, etc. And we also add a probioactive 25 million colony-forming units of a shelf-stable probiotic, and it's got 80 years of track record and science behind it, promoting optimal digestive health, assimilation of your nutrients, enhancing gut integrity, very also effective for helping to remove toxins and waste from your body. So you see how we break out our Women's One, and you kind of can get a chance to see how our formulas are put together. Some nutrients, as you can see in the color dots, are there for more than one reason, and that's quite common in how for vastly beneficial, for example, vitamin D might be, or some of the B vitamins. So really, they're there for playing many different roles in your nutritional support. So after Women's One, let's take a look at Prenatal One. What we know is 78% of pregnant women take a prenatal multivitamin. You might think, gosh, that's a lot, but then you think, gosh, why aren't the others out there? So we're doing our best to try to support women who have financial barriers from taking that too. We'll talk a little bit about that a little later. So according to the CDC, 75% of certain birth defects could be prevented if a woman had appropriate nutritional care for her before, during, and after her pregnancy. So the health status of a mother can impair tremendous fetal growth and development. And additionally, fetuses act actually as a nutrient parasite to the mom. So if the mom is not taking enough, for example, calcium, the fetus will actually rob or pull the calcium from the mom's bones as well. So that fetus really is given preferential treatment in their growth and development. So really important to support mom's health during this time as well. Folic acid is the only vitamin that actually doubles its requirements during pregnancy, and it's the most researched nutrient for critical benefits for pregnancy because of its function in preventing birth defects of the brain and spinal cord called neural tube defects, NTDs. Calcium is very important, both, as I mentioned earlier, for mom and fetal development. The RDI for calcium actually goes from 1,000 milligrams to 1,300 milligrams during pregnancy. So that's a real significant increase. Yes, I think I mentioned the deficiencies can really be problematic for moms as well. Magnesium is also very, very important. Magnesium deficiencies are associated with preeclampsia and preterm labor. Research also suggests that supplementation of for pregnant women with magnesium has been shown a significant influence on fetal and maternal health both before and after the delivery. 70% of your magnesium resides in your muscles. So those cramps that we get sometimes when we sleep, or we're carrying more weight, and there's a lot more to deal with there. Your body's changing so much that magnesium can really benefit you. We also have fresh ginger juice. So this is very, very effective for the digestive system and for nausea during pregnancy. Fresh ginger juice was actually put in a double-blind placebo study against Dramamine, a very well-known drug for motion sickness. So ginger actually came out on top. So we use the fresh ginger juice, very safe and efficacious for soothing digestion and easing nausea during pregnancy. So it's a very, very well-rounded prenatal one. Next up, we have Menopause 1, shifting again to yet another very nutrition-safe. What do we know? Approximately 50 million U.S. women are in menopause, with 5,000 women entering menopause every single day in this country. That's a lot of night sweats out there. So up to and through menopause, there are many, many changes, psychological, metabolic, and hormonal shifts that create health concerns and affect our lives and our well-being every day. We have lots to consider here: bone health, anxiety, fatigue, insomnia, depression, hot flashes, night sweats, vaginal dryness. So and maybe you can relate to some of these. Black cohosh provides support to ease common symptoms through the menopausal transition. We also include vitamin B6, B12, folic acid. They help to maintain homocysteine levels, which support the heart and brain health. Heart, as you know, is the top cause of death in this country for women. It even outpaces the top 3 cancers. So heart health is very, very important. We also have soy isoflavones, and they provide naturally occurring protective phytoestrogens, plant estrogens, which can support hormone balance, and that helps to block your increase of certain risks of cancers, including breast cancer, which is certainly a high concern. We have the 25 million colony-forming units of that shelf-stable probioactive as well, again. So it's the same strain that we use in all of our multivitamins, really promoting optimal digestion, assimilation, gut integrity, very efficient in removing excess toxins as well. So we certainly cannot forget the men in our world, especially since we've got more and more men supplement users as the younger generations come in to be as well. About half of the men in this country take a multivitamin on a daily basis, but here's a really interesting statistic. About 70%, men are about 70% less likely to seek medical treatment if there's something a little off in their body than women are. So for those of you who are women listening, you want to get and support your men in your lives of a good multivitamin. And men, if you're listening too, glad you're on the call and taking care of yourself. You're helping tip the scale there for men's longevity as well. So men's one is a very comprehensive 1 per day, 1 tablet a day multivitamin, food-based multivitamin and mineral supporting the top concerns for men: heart health, immune health, muscle health, prostate and sexual health, all while boosting natural energy production. No artificial stimulants, no stimulants in any Rainbow Light multivitamin. So boosting your natural energy production. We use saw palmetto. It works to tonify and strengthen the male reproductive system, increasing the overall general health of the urinary and genital organs, as well as using to address clinically addressing symptoms of benign prostatic hypertrophy. Sorry about that. That's BHT. We also use lycopene. Lycopene is the most abundant carotenoid and very, very supportive of the prostate. It's been linked to prostate health. That lycopene is from a tomato, concentrated tomato. 25 million colony-form units of the probioactive, again, that 80-year science-backed strain of shelf-stable probiotics. Again, really supporting your overall gut health and integrity, which helps to lead to longevity as well, because 70% of your immune cells are residing in the gut. So we want to keep that daily support for optimum health overall with those probiotics. The last multivitamin we're going to touch in on here is the Active Adult 50 Plus. Adults age 45 and older are the largest and fastest growing group of supplement users, and every 7 seconds in this country someone is turning 50. So happy birthday if it's yours today, or if you're entering that wonderful new decade. As we age, and older Americans in general, they really experience higher risk of deficiencies due to perhaps a fixed or limited income, isolation, depression, dementia, transportation limitations, disabilities, degenerative diseases, or the use of prescription medication can really affect your nutritional balance as well. Even the normal metabolic aging process can have an effect on your ability to absorb nutrients properly. So the Just Once Active Adult 50 Plus is a food-based multivitamin. It provides generous and appropriate levels of your B vitamins, plus vitamin C, D, and E, as well as minerals and trace minerals to support your general overall health. Also a complete potency profiled B complex to strongly support the nervous system and brain health, energy production, normal mood and well-being, as well as slightly higher levels of your B3, B6, B12, folic acid, and choline. That all supports brain function and well-being of the cardiovascular, your heart health as well. Lutein is used here. It's been shown to play a significant and protective role in age-related macular degeneration and age-related cardiac formation, so really supporting your ocular health there. And the use of the plant-based enzymes, as well as that nourishing vitality blend for active adults, and your shelf-stable probiotic as well to support overall health, well-being, digestion, immunity, etc. So I'd like to conclude by telling you a little bit more about our corporate social responsibilities, how Rainbow Light is really walking the talk out there. really helping supporting our overall mission statement of transforming personal, planetary, and global health. At Rainbow Light, we really believe it's our responsibility as manufacturers here in the natural products industry to really do our part to take care of those in need. And for over 20 years, actually since 1994, we began our partnership with a nonprofit out there called Vitamin Angels. They bring life-saving prenatals and children's chewables to those in need around the planet. Over 49 countries, including the U.S., really helping those with dire nutritional needs, often tied into a lack of financial stability. To date, we have donated over 40 million prenatal and kids vitamins to at-risk moms and at-risk kids around the planet. We also were the first national vitamin brand to package our complete line in 100% EcoGuard bottles. EcoGuard bottles are 100% upcycled, that is repurposed plastic or recycled plastic. They're 100% FDA approved bottles and 100% recyclable, so they could just be recycled into your regular, normal routine. They require no extra special help. So they're really infinitely recyclable, can go on, and that is something that our founder, Linda Kaler, has stated. So really doing our part, our responsibility. This has reduced our carbon footprint on the planet by 92%. And we're keeping over 10 million bottles out of the landfill each and every year. And with your support, that number's only going up. So also helping support the health of the planet, we support educational awareness and keeping our oceans clean by financially supporting Save Our Shores, which is a nonprofit organization in our corporate backyard, Santa Cruz, California, supporting and protecting the largest marine sanctuary on the planet. That's the Monterey Bay. It's the Monterey Bay, right? That's our corporate backyard. And we're also bringing educational awareness to Five Gyres. That's another nonprofit organization. Anna Cummins, the founder, is photographed there in the center. And their goal and mission is to bring educational awareness to and ultimate reduction of plastic pollution in our planet's oceans. So you can Google Five Gyres. It's very interesting. The Five Gyres that's where your northern hemisphere ocean and your southern hemisphere, the currents go in different, they flow in different patterns, and there are 5 areas in the oceans where plastic pollution kind of accumulates. So we're really working toward eliminating those, and we've been financially supportive of the Five Gyres organization for a number of years now. That's our corporate home office. You can see they're photoed at the bottom. It is a LEED certified building there. It's incredibly low energy, very, very efficient. There's a tremendous bureaucratic and architectural red tape one must go through to become a LEED certified building. Some of those things show up as being, for example, the radiant heat through the concrete floor, which warms the building as opposed to just heating the air. A minimum of 50% of the construction waste was diverted from landfill. That's a requirement to be LEED certified. The redwoods that you can see used to in the front panels as well as throughout the building are all from fallen redwoods as opposed to being harvested for this building. Natural light, natural airflow. There's also a roof garden that helps to infuse aromatherapy through the work environment as well. So it really is kind of doing our part to take care of our local community in Santa Cruz, California. So that concludes the presentation. I know we had some really great questions that came in earlier, so I'd like to start by addressing those questions first. And let's see here. We had a really great question. Someone was interested in learning about formulas for easing stiffness and joint pain, as well as, just for the fun of it, throwing in a little information on perimenopause and premenopause and postmenopause. Well, I think we've addressed the menopause issues in our Menopause 1, and we do have some specific products for joint pain and inflammation. I think I've been sort of hogging the presentation here. Marcy, why don't I let you address this a little bit? So we have some great adjunct products that somebody could add. A multivitamin is really it's your cornerstone. It's a foundation for anyone's nutritional program. So that might be all one needs, which is great, but if you're dealing with something specific, you can certainly add on to it. So, Marcy, I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to you for a moment.
Sure, Terry Ann. I think it's really important to point out to people that in addition to the many multivitamins that you went through today, Rainbow Light has a lot of other very innovative products. And one of my personal favorites is a product called Theremin. And if anybody's been keeping up on the medical news within the last 3 to 5 years, even longer ago than that, and continuing, you'll note that there's a lot of buzz around the word inflammation. And inflammation is really being shown in the research to be the root cause of many chronic diseases. Now, Theremin, it really is focusing on joint pain and stiffness, but it also helps with general inflammation in the body. Speaking from not my personal experience, but my mother, who has some arthritis in her hips after going through chemotherapy and general aging, she's found a tremendous relief in using the Theremin product daily. The ingredients that are really fantastic in there are Perluxin, which is a proprietary hops extract and has been well researched for inflammation, and curcumin. You may have heard of curcumin or turmeric. That is a fantastic ingredient as well, and the other ingredients work with both the hops and the curcumin to have a synergistic effect in really addressing overall inflammation, and some of the specific studies have focused on everyday pain and stiffness in joints. So there's my little take on Theremin, a great adjunct product to any Rainbow Light multivitamin.
Fabulous. Marcy, thanks so much for that contribution. The next question that we were given here was, what is the best once daily supplement that I can take for anemia? Well, the women's one contributes 6 milligrams of iron, which is very, very supportive. But if you're working with a specific condition, it's always best to check with your healthcare provider. That being said, Marcy, would you care to elaborate a bit on our complete iron and maybe also include some of the feedback that you've received on this formula or that we at Rainbow Light have received?
Sure. Complete Iron Mini Tabs is a fantastic add-on product if your physician or healthcare practitioner has recommended that you need to take additional iron. This particular product has a really easy absorbable type of iron called Ferroactive, and what it is an amino acid chelate that's really well absorbed, gentle on the stomach, and easy to tolerate. And over my tenure at Rainbow Light, we've had many reports on the success of this product. It has 30 milligrams of this form of iron per tablet, and many people have been very successful in using it to treat their anemia. But again, as Terry Ann mentioned, if you're being treated for any condition, including anemia, you always need to check with your physician or healthcare practitioner before starting any supplement program.
That's great. I know also, Marcy, just to add on to that, one of the big concerns that people have with taking an iron supplement is constipation. So are the Rainbow Light iron products, well, I'll just add that they do address that so that that's not an issue because of the form of iron that we're using and how we're formulating it.
Right, yes. The form of iron used, as I said, is gentle on the stomach, but is also non-constipating, so you're not going to have those but hard stools that you generally get with some of the other forms of iron that are available. And the food base in this particular product is a prune, fig, and raisin powder, which are all ingredients that naturally include minerals and do have a naturally occurring content of iron. So those are going to really help the product be absorbed and also add to being gentle on the stomach.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Marcy. I've just got one more question that came in advance, but if you're having a question since the presentation, go ahead and type it in to the team there, and we'll be sure to address it. So the last question that I have here is, how do the multivitamins suit all the individuals as each person's balance is different? And that is such a great question. At Rainbow Light, we really do know that when it comes to nutritional supplements, one size does not fit all. However, and that's why we have so many. I mean, we just covered 5 multivitamins here, which cover 5 different customer categories, but we have many more as well. One thing I want to point out and emphasize here is all the Rainbow Light multivitamins are formulated to suit the basic needs of the particular population groups, for example, menopause or prenatal or folks over 50, etc. Even within that, we have another menopause formula that's soy-free, because this one does contain, the one a day does contain soy, and we have another formula that's soy-free because some people are sensitive to that. So we really take a look at the top concerns when we formulate our multivitamins. But beyond that, there's a myriad of life experiences and situations that really create an opportunity to customize a program that really works for you. So for instance, you may be dealing with PMS or stress, and your best friend has no problems with that at all, but they really might be dealing with digestive issues, and they could be the exact same age and gender. So really, the Rainbow Light webpage, which is rainbowlight.com, rainbowlight.com, is a great resource for helping you navigate your way to meeting your own particular needs. So that's a really great resource for you there. And Marcy, do you have anything else to add to that?
I think you covered it pretty well. Thanks, Tyrion.
Okay. All right. So let's turn it back over to our Lucky Vitamin leaders here. Are there any other questions that have come up during the course of the presentation today?
I'm glad you asked that. Why, yes, there are. We've actually had a few questions come through while the webinar has been happening. We don't have a whole lot of time, so I want to kind of pick and choose here, but one of these was very well written and just posted by a customer, so I'm going to go ahead and just read it for you. This says, an increasingly large number of Americans are getting bariatric surgery with specific issues regarding swallowing and digestion. Do you have a recommended protocol and quote-unquote chewable supplement that targets the unique group and their urgent need for nutrients? And if I can tag one more question onto that, because there was another question about chewables, a relatively short one. Are your gummies suitable for vegans and or vegetarians? So have at it.
Fabulous. Wonderful questions. I just read an article on this, the gastric bypass surgery improved the current, I think it's the current prevention. It might have been last month's prevention. And yes, the importance of chewing nutrients. I saw your vitamins. I saw that. So we've got several ways that we can address that in our formula. Our products are really, our tablets are very easy to break down and digest. You can start by putting it into a tablet of even water, and it will break down, and that can be put into, ground into a smoothie or a scoop of yogurt, something like that. Also, we have a few of our products that are multivitamins in the certified organic line, and those come in veggie capsules. So those capsules can be opened up and sprinkled right on your food as well. Super easy to take and super easy to digest. Rainbow Light also has a growing family of gummies, which are very easy to digest and very easy to chew, and they're absolutely delicious. So there are several different ways to to take your nutrients based on your needs. And Marcy, I'm not sure if you have anything else specific to add or anything specific to the gastric bypass issue. Oh, and you can address the vegan and vegetarian because I missed that one, and that's also available on our website. Most of the products in our line are. We start with trying to get a vegetarian source and go from there. But I'll turn it over to you, Marcy.
Sure. As far as the gummies, they are not vegan because they do contain a bovine source of gelatin. So there's that one right out of the block. As far as nutrients specifically formulated for gastric bypass patients, again, I can't emphasize enough how important it is to check with your physician, especially if you're undergoing treatment for something like bariatric surgery. But I would, again, look at what Terry Ann said, and you could crush or you could sprinkle the nutrients on there. The products, as we've emphasized throughout the presentation, are definitely gentle on the stomach, so they should be easy for someone to tolerate, especially someone that has the bypass surgery in which you're having less space for absorption and digestion. So the probiotics should also have a beneficial effect in that aspect.
Great, thank you. And Derek, it's up to you, but we may have time for more questions.
Yeah, why don't we try getting a couple more done before we have to sign off here. A couple easy ones, I think. At what age should I start supplementing my child's nutrition?
I can take that one. Oh, sorry.
Good. Yes, please.
Okay, that's an easy one. It really, but again, there's a challenge there. It really depends on the individual diet. It depends on, how well the child's eating, if they're eating a well-rounded diet with fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein. Again, talk to your physician about it. Rainbow Light has chewable vitamins for kids. We don't recommend any children that can't chew, obviously. You have to be, I would say, a minimum of, they're formulated to be for a 4-year-old, but if your child, and they're, a chewable, so they're not a tiny thing, but, there would be an issue with choking. So you need to just really assess the individual child and their ability to chew. The one thing I do want to also mention is Rainbow Light has a really fantastic product called NutriStart. It's a powdered multivitamin, and you can easily add that to yogurt, to applesauce, to any soft food that a younger child can easily consume. So there are lots of options, and again, it really depends on the individual child and checking with your pediatrician on whether they think you need supplemental nutrients.
Okay, great. Let's try to get one more question in here.
Sure.
Actually, I'm going to shoot for 2 questions. Let's see if we can do it.
Okay.
We have one customer saying that they're hearing and seeing a lot of talk about protein. So how important is protein intake compared to other nutrient supplementation?
Okay, Marcy, you want to handle this one?
Sure. Well, protein
being a registered dietitian, you are?
Yeah. Protein is what is considered one of the macronutrients. There's protein, fat, and carbohydrates. So it's needed on a different level than a micronutrient. Micronutrients are the vitamins and the minerals. So as far as protein, of course, it is extremely important, but it's needed on a different level than like a multivitamin supplement. And again, protein intake depends on your age, it depends on your weight, it depends on your activity level. Obviously, someone who is a professional weightlifter might have a different protein requirement than someone who's a couch potato. So there's several different resources. You can go online. I'd recommend checking out eatright.org, which is the website for the American Dietetic Association. There's some links there, and also the the USDA websites are going to have information on and be reliable resources on helping you determine how much protein you need. But yes, protein is a super important nutrient, but I wouldn't say more or less important than carbohydrates and fat, which are all needed in a balance to help promote optimal health. Thanks.
Great. All right, thank you. And one last question. Someone just asked if all of your products are made in the U.S.
Yes, the vast majority of our products are made in our U.S.-based GMP-compliant certified organic manufacturing facility in Florida. The blending and the tableting, everything is done right there. But the tableting or making of a gummy requires a different type of machine, which we do in our sister company in Colombia. I know we have it on our slate. I'm not sure if it's 2016. We are actually building bringing a machine into our U.S. base for the gummies, and that is slated to happen as well. But the vast majority is here in the U.S. Yes, great question. Thanks.
All right. Well, Terry Ann and Marcy, I really want to thank you both very much for your time today and sharing all this great information with us.
Oh, this has been our pleasure. I am so impressed with the level of questions of your group. This has been such fun, and we've really enjoyed it. We really appreciate the opportunity. Do remember rainbowlight.com for any additional questions that you have. Wealth of information there, too. So thank you, everyone. Have yourself a wonderful Wednesday, and make it a healthy one. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up now. Thank you, everybody, for attending. And again, thank you to our panelists for all the great information. This webinar will be emailed to everybody that registered, and we usually get the email out within 48 hours. And you can also find it by visiting LuckyVitamin.com and just search the keyword webinar. Check out all the other cool webinars that are up there too. As many of you know, part of our mission here at Lucky Vitamin is to make healthy living more affordable. So please see the screen right now for an exclusive promo code. And remember, this code is active right now and will be active for the next 72 hours. Thank you all again. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. If you did, please tell a friend and help us spread the wellness.